Hi, Beverly Gale here, talking today about the smartphone. And this also can apply to tablets. When I first got my smartphone, I was very impressed with all the things that it could do, but I didn't really know how to do any of them. And it wasn't until I talked with other people and they said, well, try this or try that, that I began to see there was a real potential here for helping people that are visually impaired. So as I have gone along and increased some of the things that I do with my smartphone, I wanted to share them with you. Now, when I've done other tutorials and watched them here on YouTube, I've been very impressed that people have their phone out and they put the video right on the phone and show you how to do it. I can't do that. I'm using my phone as my video tool. And I'm not sure that even if I had a second video to give to you with my vision like it is, I would be constantly leaning over, using my magnifier glass. It would be more of a hassle to listen to this than it would be to just have me talk to you. So I decided, well, how can I be helpful to you if I just tell you about it? Because I know when I've heard about some of these things, it's not always easy to figure out where to get them. So I came up with a information sheet. I did a little research on, dug in where to find these different things, put them on this information sheet, which I am going to include with the video, so that if you are interested, perhaps you can figure out a way to copy it down so that you can share it with someone you know that is having vision problems, or maybe because you aren't having vision problems and you have a family member that is, you can go back to them and say, hey, Grandma, I saw this YouTube video, and I think you might like some of these things. And now you have a list so you know where to go back and find them. So here we go. I want to tell you that I made my phone brighter, more vocal, and larger text. And these are the ways I did it. In order to make it brighter and have larger text, you need to go into Settings. And then you have to scroll down until you get to a part that says Display. Click on the display, and inside the display you're going to find a brightness setting. And when you click on it, it's going to have a slide bar to the right or the left. And you can brighten up your screen or lower the brightness of your screen to your choosing, whatever you choose. I believe there's another way to do it, but I don't know how quite to do it, so I'm going to leave it at that. And for those of you that are more savvy, you can say to your grandma, Grandma, this is easier, just do it this way. And that's what I hope will happen. As you find things that you can add to your grandma or your family member's phone, you might know an easier way to do it. Please share it with me, because it would make my life easier. But I'm going to share what I've learned, and hopefully it'll make someone else's life easier. So once you get the setting down that you like for your brightness, now let's take a look at the text. If you look, you'll find something called font size, and that's still under display. And when you click on it, it'll give you a default, a large, and an extra large. And I put it on the extra large setting because of my eyes. And many people don't even know, especially us older people who aren't as savvy as you youngsters, we didn't even know that we could change the size of the font. Well, you can. And it's in this particular setting that you find it, and it's under Display. Another thing you can change is the size of the icons on your phone. Now, if they're fine with you, great. But play around with it. Change them to be bigger and see if you like it better or not. But it gives you an option to do just that. Another way to increase the size of the font is in a different section of settings, under something called Accessibility. Under Accessibility, look for Change the Size of the Screen. And you will be able to triple tap on the screen with this setting, and immediately your screen will enlarge. And then you can take and enlarge it even further. So you start with an extra large font. Now you've triple tapped it, and you can expand it even further to make life a little simpler for reading. And it is simpler when you can see it easier. However, when you get to where you are actually looking at a topic of information, and it's you've already got your phone turned on its side. You've got your accessibility set so that when you rotate your phone, it goes longwise, and so you can see more print. But the bigger the print size, the more it scrolls and drops off the screen. So now what you're faced with doing when you're reading it is you're doing one of these things to try to get all the print across the page. So there is a solution for that, and it's something that's entitled text-to-speech, otherwise known as TTS. And I found a wonderful app, and I'm going to go back for just a second to give you the difference between the settings of display and accessibility and an app. In the settings and displays and accessibilities, these are things that are built into the phone, already pre-built into the phone. You don't need an app for them. But an app is an outside program that you import through your store and your app store. And then that comes on your screen as an icon. And so you can utilize these apps that I'm talking about. One of them allows you to choose an article that you're reading, and it, rather than having to scroll and drop off and scroll and drop off and scroll and drop off, you can now put that information into an app. And this particular app that I found is called the Abood Reader app. And I will tell you, when I first got it, I thought, wow, this is just the kind of app I need, because looking at other apps, they didn't seem to do the same things. And I put it on my phone and couldn't figure out how to use it. Couldn't get it to work, couldn't get it to work, couldn't get it to work. So I uninstalled it. So later I was still frustrated with triple tapping, reading, dropping it off the screen, having to continue scrolling across the screen until I was able to pick it up again. I said, there's got to be a better way. Let me go back out there and see if there's another text-to-speech app that I can use that's easier to work with. Well, I went out there, but I couldn't find anything that did everything, because this particular one will go and read your emails. It will read your messages. It will read the pages. It will read PDFs. It will go on the internet and read the web page. And the others, I couldn't find one that did all that. So I said, okay, there's got to be a reason this thing is out here. I'm going to try it again. And with a little bit of effort, I did figure out how to use it. Now, I don't use all the features of it, because it also allows you to take that particular article, save it, and put it in a file. I haven't a clue how to do that. It tells you how, but it doesn't sink in. So I says, okay, it's not for me, but it's on there if I wanted it, or if my brain ever gets to the point where I can figure it out. But I wanted to share that with you. That's an app that I just absolutely cannot live without. And I put it on my tablet. Same thing. Absolutely love it on my tablet. Even though I have extra large print, triple tapping, I can bring everything up larger. Still falls off the screen because my eyes are different every day, and some days I need words that are about this big. So okay, let's put it on my tablet and see if it works, and I love it. So that's the Abood Reader. Oh, by the way, it's free. One of the other ones that I like, and I want to make sure I get the right exact way spelled, is my caller ID. I have a caller ID that's built in on my house phone behind me here. And it's wonderful because if someone calls me, I make the decision to get up out of my easy chair, to stop washing my hands in the sink, to go and pick up the phone if I want to talk to that person. If I know who it is, I might just do that. If it's a phone number that I've never heard of, I'll let the machine get it. And if it's important, I'll call them back. And this is something that I wanted to have on my phone. And so I went hunting for a caller ID. Again, there are a lot of them out there. This is the one that I found. It's called Caller Name Announcer Pro. It's free. So you might want to take a look at it. I don't know if it's for iPhone, but it's definitely for the Android phone. And some of these apps work on both, some of them only on either iPhone or on the Android phones. But it is definitely something that has vocalized my phone. And I talked about the TTS, text to speech. Speech to text is the same thing. On the speech to text, I wanted to have a way to do speech to text. Now, I haven't yet found the right app for that. However, with the apps that I've got on here, I am able to, with my Droid, to ask it to read my last voicemail or my last message, and it will read it out loud. It'll tell me who did it and how and what it is. And by the way, speaking of messages, with the caller ID, it not only tells the call that's coming in, but if I've got a message coming in, a text message, it will tell me who it's from, and it will read the text message as it's coming in. Very handy to have for someone with vision problems. So I highly recommend the Name Announcer Pro, because it has done a tremendous job of freeing me up for deciding whether or not I want to answer my phone. And again, the difference between the Messenger app and the settings apps is the fact that as an app, it's something that you can download from the Play Store. And again, the Name Announcer app is free, as is the Abood. And then one I just recently ran across was Google Search. Now, I use OK Google, and it works very well, but I was looking around for more speech-to-text apps and saw the video on this one, and this one is, I have it on my phone. I didn't know what it was. The Google search is located on your keyboard when you type something. You'll see it as a little icon on the upper left-hand side. At least that's where it is on mine. And I didn't know I had it on there because I didn't know what it was. And so I said, well, this is a cool app. I'll download it. And I went to get it, and it said uninstall. So I said, no. Oh, I must have it. And so that's how I discovered it. I'd already had somewhere along the way I had already downloaded it. I just didn't know what it was. Anyway, I hope that this information was helpful to you. This is some of the things that I have found to make my life easier with my cell phone. I welcome your comments, and certainly if you've found easier ways to do things, please include them, because I would happily like to know, and maybe I can share them in another video myself. So until next time, I'm Beverly Gale. Talk to you later. Bye.